So here we go. This is roughly 14 miles, part of the ENVE series, if I'm saying that right. BRAEk-fast Crits, and as you can see from the graphic on the top right, lots and lots of little punchy climbs, and then quite a tough finish climb. Quite a big gradient there that goes on for probably half a mile. We're just approaching the lead in here. Again, just under 14 miles. Feeling good in 15th gear. Done 10 minutes warm up, so in good condition. It's nice and cool this morning in the UK, so good from a fitness point of view. So hopefully at the end I shouldn't be overheating. What have we got here? 28 riders from the graphic on the right. So since the last race, which I finished fourth, well, it was destined fifth, but I did finish fourth. I've been promoted to the category above. So I'm racing in a 330 to 450. My ZRS is 400. I'm new to this course. This is the first time I've done this course. So it's a matter of staying at the front ish, playing it smartly. As you can see, I'm stood up here. I just want to stay in the front three or four. No, don't want to get dropped in case someone attacks from the start, someone with a bit of knowledge on this, because it is a climb here. But having said that, it'd be foolish unless they're a very strong rider with 13 miles to go. The options for power-ups are, there's an Anvil and a feather. I don't think I've ever used the Anvil previously. So I'll be trying to use the feather on some of those punchy climbs and using that smartly. Let's have a look here. This was quite a little challenging start, actually. I was surprised. Even though you can see the graphic, you don't expect this on the start of one of these races. So anyway, I settled in pretty nicely. Again, I always try and stay in the top 10 so I don't get dropped. Still on the lead in here, which is crazy really. I guess the start is at the top of the peak of this. Probably come through a barrier here, I'm guessing. People are using the feather already. I thought perhaps I should have used it, but I thought you can't use the feather, can't use your power up straight away, so I didn't. Big descent here. Do we get another power up here? Yeah, look, somebody's using the Anvil. Let's fast forward it now on the descent. I think we're all pretty much of a muchness on comparative power in the pack. No one really attacked. It quickened up every so often. Yeah, somebody did attack actually there, but nothing major. I shouldn't be at the front here, actually. I should be sat in the pack, just taking me time. I think pretty much everybody, let's have a look, looking at the graphic. Yeah, nobody's really been dropped. There's a couple slightly behind from the graphic on the top. But yeah, it was a pretty calm race, I've got to say. I wasn't going to do anything stupid. I wasn't going to try and attack. Just because I don't know the course, and it's probably a bit foolish if you don't know the course to start attacking on areas that are not conducive for attacking. 8.3 miles to go, just over 5 miles done. I think it's about 900 feet approximately at this course. I'm averaging 258 watts top left, 15th gear. I haven't been on the Zwift for 2 weeks actually. Last week I did a nice 30 miler outdoors, but it was just a gentle zone 1, enjoying the countryside in Suffolk, and a beautiful ride it was. I spent perhaps 2 or 3 hours at a nice cafe stop, did it solo, and it was a fantastic, beautiful little ride, because you forget what it's like going outside. You get so homed in on Zwift, and you just end up week after week racing in wherever your pain cave is. My little shed in my case. So what, approaching 7.9 miles to the finish. Now we've got a succession of 4 peaks because on this course we do a loop 4 times, and I didn't realise that, but it's pretty flat, and then you have a little cheeky climb to the finish. Yeah, people using the Anvil there, I'm guessing it perhaps adds a bit of weight on the downhill or amplifies your power. I've no idea. Tell me in the comments. But I'm just sat here. They're not going to get away from anybody here. This is an example coming up of a little tiny punchy climb. You've got to be on it or you will get dropped, because people press on up here. You get the darker red, perhaps 8-9%, we'll see in a minute. But yeah, I've done this climb through the Scottish Highland courses a few times, so I'm well aware of it. And the key is not to finish when it gets flat here, because there's a little 2 or 3% just to the finish, and that can slow you down if you just take your foot off the gas. Everyone has used the feather sort of high. I've needed to use the feather just to stay in contention. But again, I'm feeling pretty good here. I'm not blowing too hard. 7 miles to go. Just get in the draft there. Let's speed it up. Watch, punchy climb. And then we go again. Just round the loop again. Up the climb, down the descent. Nearly 5 miles to go, 5.1 miles to go, 475 feet climbed. Got a feather in reserve here, which I think I was waiting to the end here in anticipation of that final finishing climb. 5 miles to go. So it was a competitive race, but no one was doing anything silly. I think everyone was riding smartly. As you can see, we had little instances like this where the guy in the front just pulling the pack a bit and just stretching it and just keeping you on your toes. I think we're catching some back riders from the loop here. Yeah, as you can see, the graphic on the right. But yeah, key was not to lose concentration. 254 watts average, 9 miles completed. I've got to say, I was enjoying this. I might have a crack at this midweek. Again, depending on how I do. There we go, just nicely drafted behind those. I'm trying to cut the corners there using the Zwift controllers. Not sure it makes a huge difference, but psychologically it does. Here's the penultimate one of these little punches. Starts with a 1.5%, and then a little gradient to the corner, and then that final yellow part, and then you're on the flat, and then the downhill. So everybody's using the feather there. Yeah, I guess everyone by now is understanding how this course works and where you need to use your power-ups. Let's have a look. There's someone off the back there, but still in contention. So the group are all close together, 28 riders, as I said. Just had to stand up there on the pedals to keep myself in, because someone's just pushing at the front in the green jersey. Yeah, 400 odd watts just rolled to the front there. But this is it. As we're coming down to 4.1 miles to go, just fast forward it, but the pace did quicken up, and everyone was preparing for that final climb. So I think I stop it here with 2 miles to go. Just as we're coming on the descent here, 2 miles to go, 11.7 miles completed, 644 feet, 29 minutes just gone. So I had to watch it here because I didn't know if somebody was going to make a break before the start of this climb, but I was prepared for it. So there's a dip here, and then you come up, and then it's a gentlish climb, and then as you can see there's a flat bit, and then the final climb to the finish. So it's quite a distance, this gradient, so I wanted to keep around 300 watts. Top left, I wasn't quite achieving that. Just stay at the front here. I think I was just pushing a bit hard there, not thinking about the length of this climb, and it does catch up with me later on. Here we go into a orange part. I'm guessing 3 or 4% here, just round this bend. Trying to take some liquids. I dropped the water bottle there, by the way. Yeah, foolishly I dropped my water bottle. Meant to put it in the bottle cage and it just slipped out. But here I wasn't getting dropped, just staying nicely in here, and I was quite pleased. And as you can see from the pack now, it's probably down to a top 10. Somebody at the bottom there, 10 seconds behind. Top 10, it might be top 15 actually at this point. Just staying in that pack. They're pushing now. They've got a real momentum, and I didn't want to drop off. But you can see now we're starting to drop some of the riders. I was feeling good. 550 calories done, 253 average. Little breather here, a tiny little flat, but not to get complacent with that. There's going to be a blue part in a minute, and then it's the final climb. But I'm really chuffed with myself here. You know, in the front 3 or 4 riders, feeling good, doing 80 plus RPM on the climb, sticking, well, let's say between 275 and 300 watts. I said that, as I say that, I've dropped. So here, a mile to go. Now, it's down to, there are definitely 7 or 8 riders there, and the rest have been dropped. I didn't really realise that at the time. That would have given me a boost. So off the saddle, 0.9 miles to go. Looking good here. Have I got a feather? No, there's no. I can't remember whether we got a power up through here. Really in contention here. I didn't realise I was doing pretty well here. I didn't feel like I was doing that well. The guy in the green jersey's going off here. Kay Cooney, the Irish rider, he's making a break for this. Mortley, number 2, and I'm sat in 4th here, 0.7 of a mile to go. Just get round this bend and it's the final climb. And a steep one to start, actually, the next 50 feet. Probably going to, here we go, this was a steep one here. And I just didn't, I was just holding on here, these top 5 riders. I'm putting it in here, 425 watts, top left. I'm staying with the first 4. If I can just get over this orange, 400 plus watts, that's a lot for me. Get onto the yellow. And this is where I just get dropped here by those 2 riders, Hillman and Tan. If I'd stayed on there, I might have had a chance of staying with them. There's 0.4 miles to go. But look, I try and get off the saddle here, but they're obviously pushing. I'm 366, 388. Mortley, fair play, is coming past me there. So I'm dropped into 5th now. And Platt, the Dutch rider, comes past me. Yeah, I try and catch up with 400 watts. I haven't used my feather yet. Do you know what? I should have probably used it about now. Instead, I delayed it, and I still had some going over the top of the peak, which is pointless. I should have opened it there, because they're not using it either, and I'd saved it. Yeah, It's too late. 600 calories done, 255 average. I put one big effort in here, 400 plus. But yeah, 4 seconds, 6 seconds. I'm not gaining on them here. 12 seconds ahead from behind the leader. I was just too far behind. I should have used the feather earlier. And then, yeah, I'm 5 seconds ahead of Sanchez in 7th. So I've done the job. I can't catch the person in front because they're 5 seconds ahead. Really chuffed with that. I've got to say, I did make a mistake not activating the feather. Could that have made the difference to put me a couple of places higher, possibly on the podium? You tell me. But really chuffed, 3.4 watts a kilo, 254 average. You know, I did put it in. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Thank you.